know how to fight. Neither do that T.I. little yellow mother. The long hair. Just slap Kanye West. That's where he was wrong at home.
Yeah.
Why slap him for what, nigga? When you had a 15-year-old hitman, nigga, that murdered black people.
You ever witness a feud so raw, so unpredictable, that it feels like watching a live grenade with the pin already pulled? That's exactly what went down when Boosie Badazz and Charleston White collided. This wasn't some harmless internet back and forth. It was a powder keg waiting to explode. And when it finally did, the whole internet lit up like a title fight under the Vegas lights. Every corner of hip-hop tuned in, waiting for the first swing, because deep down, everybody knew this one was personal. Charleston White has built his empire on one thing: his mouth. He talks wild, stirs chaos, and dares the world to check him. That's his whole hustle. He picks a target, throws the first stone, and then sits back while the storm builds, collecting every view, every headline, every ounce of attention. Nobody's off limits. Rappers, activists, athletes, even entire families. Charleston thrives off conflict.
Slap Lil Boosie, that don't do nothing. Lil Marlo was the killer. Lil Boosie ain't had a fight with nobody. That you punch him in the nose, that bleed to death because he a diabetic. You can't give him no black eye, he'll die.
He'll mock legends, twist real pain into jokes, and call it content, just to watch the internet burn. But when he set his sights on Boosie, everything changed. Boosie isn't just another rapper you can clown for clicks. He's got roots, respect, and a bloodline he'll protect at all costs. And Charleston poking around that circle? That was like stepping into a lion's cage and smacking the king across the face. He didn't tiptoe. He charged in headfirst, ready to play with fire. At first, Charleston kept it slick, pretending it was just jokes. He called Boosie washed up, mocked his legacy, said he wasn't relevant anymore. To the casual viewer, it looked like the same Charleston routine. Stir the pot, get the clicks, move on. But those who really know Charleston knew he doesn't stop there. He digs deeper, searching for the pressure point, that one nerve that can't be touched. And when he finds it, he presses hard. And this time, that nerve was Boosie's son, Tootie Raw. That's when everything flipped. The vibe turned from messy to dangerous. The internet froze, fans saying, "Hold up, this ain't trolling anymore. This is disrespect."
Your boy don't know how to fight. Neither do that T.I. little yellow mother. The long hair freak. That little don't know how to fight either. Get them y'all babies is rapper baby.
Yeah, they're gonna be for something. It's gonna be for something. I don't play no police game, man. Just know as you move around, man, life is real, bruh. This shit ain't no motherfucking joke. This shit ain't no motherfucking game. Just don't play with me and don't play with mine. Leave my motherfucking children out your motherfucking face, boy.
Charleston started talking about wanting Tootie locked up, cracking reckless jokes like it was comedy hour. But anyone who knows Boosie knows he don't play about his kids. Never has, never will. That's his line in the sand, and Charleston crossed it without a second thought. For a while, Boosie kept quiet, calm, cold, calculating. He didn't jump online yelling or threaten anyone. He didn't give Charleston the instant reaction he was begging for. But every time Charleston mentioned Tootie's name again, the silence got heavier. People could feel the storm building. And when Boosie finally stepped in front of that camera, it wasn't rage you heard, it was warning. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He spoke with that chilling calm only a real man has when he's done being patient. Don't ever come for my kids. Don't drag my family into your circus. That's all it took. His tone, ice cold. His stare, unshakable. Every word hit like a thunderclap. And the moment that clip dropped, chaos erupted. Blogs reposted it, timelines exploded, fans picked sides. Half the culture stood behind Boosie.
Son, saw one dude said he's the one who got your son arrested. How do you feel about stuff like that?
Who got my son arrested?
Then he said Charleston White went on the record.
I don't know, man. I don't fuck with Charleston White. That nigga, they're Prussian. I ain't fucking with y'all. I'm keeping that nigga name out my mouth. That's a threat to my success.
Yeah.
Charleston White, he ain't hiding. Charleston White gonna get your ass locked up.
Yeah.
So, shit, I've been ducking that smoke with Charleston.
The only smoke I ever heard Boosie say you don't.
That's some smoke you don't want, man. Hey. I ain't trying to have no man calling no DAs on and all this on me. That's real shit.
Yeah.
It's real fake shit.
Well, people got to realize, right, if you look at our community, I don't understand why people make threats online, why they...
Saying he did what any real father would do. Protect his own. The other half got nervous, warning that Charleston was baiting him into a trap that could spin out of control. Because everyone knows, Charleston lives for chaos. He feeds on reactions. But this time, he wasn't playing with views or headlines. He was playing with a man's bloodline, and that's a dangerous game. Because this stopped being about ego long ago. This was about respect, pride, and boundaries. About the lines you never cross. In hip-hop, in the streets, or in life. And here's what most people missed. This tension didn't just pop up overnight. The roots stretch way back. All the way to when Kanye West stirred the world wearing that infamous White Lives Matter shirt, pulling Boosie into controversy long before Charleston ever jumped in. That's where the seeds were planted. In pride, in principle, in pain. It's been simmering for years. All it needed was someone bold enough, or crazy enough, to light the match. Remember when Ye stormed back into the spotlight wearing that infamous White Lives Matter shirt? That moment set the culture on fire overnight. The internet went into full meltdown. Some defended Kanye, saying he was just pushing boundaries, while others tore him apart for turning a serious movement into what they saw as a cheap, disrespectful fashion stunt. And right in the middle of that chaos stood Boosie, loud and unapologetic, refusing to stay silent. Boosie didn't hold back.
Boosie feels pretty good. He feels like the judge is...
He don't feel good. You see how low his energy is.
I mean, well, he says this judge seems pretty cool.
Man, he just saying that to kiss ass and they watch it. I used to say the same shit, and the judge kept revoking my bond. Oh, that nigga bit the pillar in an interview. And have you ever seen a gangster in an interview, nigga? That nigga under pressure and stress. Come on, my not playing. He facing 15. Homie, don't you know he got a turd in his ass? Because those 5 murders is part of relevant conduct that goes into the PSI. Even though he beat him, they still bring it up as an arrest. Boosie record don't put him on a cakewalk, y'all. He going where he got to really be in danger and in fear, no matter who he is.
He called Kanye out publicly, saying what millions were thinking but didn't dare to say out loud. To him, that shirt wasn't just controversy, it was betrayal. Boosie made it clear he wasn't about to let that slide quietly, and his words hit headlines instantly. But that's when Charleston White saw his golden ticket. Instead of siding with Boosie or speaking on the message, Charleston flipped the whole script. He mocked Boosie for daring to criticize Ye, called him a hypocrite, laughed at him for trying to act like some moral leader, and told his followers that Boosie wasn't the man to talk about anything righteous. Charleston spun the whole situation around until it looked like Boosie was the one desperate for clout. He turned Boosie's outrage into what looked like a weak grab for attention and made the internet eat it up. From that moment, Charleston had found his new obsession. Every single time Kanye's name hit the headlines, Charleston dragged Boosie's name right alongside it, locking them together in a toxic, twisted game the internet couldn't look away from. And when he saw how much attention it brought him, he didn't back off. He turned it up. He started barking online, saying things like, "If I go to jail, it's gonna be for something real. Don't play no police game." It was clear Charleston wasn't just after views anymore. He was chasing chaos. And then, just when things couldn't get wilder, he widened his scope. His next target? Another rap legacy kid, King Harris, the son of T.I.
If your boy jump on me, y'all will bury that yellow motherfucker. I shoot him right in his goddamn throat. You know, I wish an 18, 19-year-old nigga would jump on me. Boy, I'd Trayvon Martin that little motherfucker. I swear to God.
Charleston came out swinging hard, calling King spoiled, soft, and fake street. He clowned the young man's lifestyle, laughed at his fashion, roasted his hair, and even claimed King was headed straight for jail. The disrespect was loud, ugly, and constant. King wasn't having it. He jumped on Instagram Live, fired back with pure emotion, and made it clear Charleston wasn't going to keep playing with his name. He told him straight up that if they ever crossed paths, it was going to be a real problem. The tension hit a boiling point, because unlike Charleston's usual victims, this time, the sons of real legends were clapping back. And when T.I. caught wind of the disrespect toward his son, he didn't hesitate. Tip came out swinging too, calm but deadly serious. He said, "Nobody's gonna play with my child's name," making it clear that crossing his family came with consequences. He backed King fully, telling the world he'd always stand behind his son no matter what. The message was crystal clear. This wasn't internet talk anymore. This was personal. Suddenly, Charleston found himself surrounded by 2 rap heavyweights, Boosie and T.I. Both fathers, both furious, and both ready to defend their sons. The internet was losing its mind watching it all unfold. Clips of T.I.'s and Boosie's reactions flooded every feed, while Charleston doubled down with more videos, more taunts, and more chaos. And what made it even crazier? Their sons weren't backing down either. King Harris kept clapping back on IG Live, refusing to let Charleston's words slide, and Tootie, Boosie's son, had already been pulled deep into the storm too. It was no longer just Charleston's circus. It had turned into a full-blown family war, spilling across every corner of the culture, and the internet was eating it up. The internet ate it all up. Every clip of Charleston talking reckless went viral. Every word from Boosie or T.I. spread like wildfire. King's fiery livestream kept replaying on every feed, every blog, every page. It was pure chaos, and people couldn't get enough of it.
So why you was a bitch, boy? Man, we was about to whoop your ass when you come back down here from telling. I can see you had a soft.
Fans argued nonstop. Was King really about to back up his words if they crossed paths in real life? Or was Charleston just dragging him down into the mud for clicks and views? Either way, it felt like watching a slow-motion train wreck. Messy, unpredictable, but way too addictive to look away from. Beneath all the noise, though, one thing stood out crystal clear. This was no longer about internet clout or viral fame. This was about family, respect, and the sacred lines you simply don't cross. Not in hip-hop, not in the streets, not in life itself. You never come for a man's kids. That's an unspoken rule everywhere. But Charleston White strutted around like those rules didn't apply to him. Loud, reckless, and grinning behind his safety net. Rappers can't touch me. I'll just call the cops. That's the shield he hides behind. The reason he moves so wild. Taking shots at legends and mocking their children without a hint of fear. But when you zoom out, it becomes clear. This wasn't just another round of trolling for clicks. This was a test of manhood, of loyalty, of how far fathers would go when their bloodline got disrespected. Boosie's warning wasn't for show. It was raw truth. You could hear it in his voice. That steady tone that made the whole internet go silent for a moment. His message was heavy, the kind that made even the trolls stop typing. Don't come for my kids. Simple, direct, final. And when T.I. stepped in behind King, that same energy hit again. Not defending a rap image, but defending his role as a father, as a man who stands 10 toes down for his child. That energy, calm but dangerous, was something different. It wasn't loud or flashy. It was the kind of energy you feel in your gut. And Charleston? He laughed it off like it was another comedy skit. He mocked, doubled down, and acted like the whole thing was just entertainment. But that's the wild part. All this chaos, all this drama, all this fire started from something as small as a shirt. When Kanye stepped out wearing that White Lives Matter tee, it cracked open a cultural earthquake. Boosie stood tall, calling Ye out for turning a movement into a gimmick, for disrespecting the same people who built him up. His words echoed across the culture, giving voice to what so many felt but didn't say out loud. He wasn't chasing clout, he was defending his community. But Charleston? He saw opportunity. He twisted Boosie's outrage into content, flipping the entire narrative to keep his own name buzzing. He attached himself to every Ye headline like a leech on controversy. Every time Kanye made the news, Charleston made sure Boosie's name came right behind it, painting him as the loud critic who wouldn't shut up. He turned Boosie's truth into a circus act, a playbook designed to keep Boosie's reputation on fire, while Charleston soaked in the spotlight. But the second Charleston switched his focus from Kanye to Boosie's son, everything changed. That's where the line got drawn. And when he dragged King Harris into it too, the drama hit a new level entirely. A level nobody was ready for. King's young, proud, and fearless. The kind of kid who refuses to stay quiet when someone tries to clown him. When Charleston mocked him, King clapped back instantly. Raw, unfiltered, emotional. It wasn't some funny back and forth. It was real. A straight-up violation. And when T.I. stood right behind his son, letting the world know that disrespect would not slide, the feud transformed completely. It wasn't about trolling anymore. It wasn't even just about fame. This had turned into a generational clash. Fathers and sons, old school pride versus new school chaos, respect versus reckless talk. A collision that exposed how far the culture had drifted from its code. Charleston started clowning the new wave of rap kids, calling them spoiled, fake, soft, and destined to crash out before they even hit their peak. But on the other side, you had the legendary fathers, Boosie and T.I., standing shoulder to shoulder with their sons, showing the world that family comes before any music, fame, or industry politics. That's exactly why the internet couldn't look away. This wasn't just another Charleston trolling spree. This was a full-blown culture war. Fathers versus a provocateur. Pride versus pure disrespect. Every clip, every live stream, every heated post made the flames rise higher. It became legacies versus chaos, respect versus mockery, and people couldn't stop watching. Charleston's wild antics might have been what got him viral, but it was the father's responses that gave the feud its real power. When Boosie stared straight into the camera, calm, serious, and deadly focused, and told Charleston, "Don't ever come for my family," the clip spread across every feed like wildfire. That wasn't just a rap moment, it hit something deeper. It wasn't about beef or bars anymore. It was about fatherhood, pride, and loyalty, values that can't be bought or staged. People shared that video because it spoke to something every parent understands. That instinct to protect what's yours. That line you never let anyone cross. Boosie's words echoed through the culture because they were real. No gimmicks, no act, just raw emotion from a father who's had enough. And then came T.I. stepping in for King Harris, standing tall beside his son, reminding everyone what it looks like when a father protects his bloodline. He wasn't chasing headlines or views. He was showing what real manhood looks like. That unshakable stance, that look in his eyes, it said everything. You could feel it through the screen. That type of respect can't be faked. But here's the thing. Charleston ain't stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He laughs through the chaos, pretending it's all just jokes, hiding behind the same defense he always uses. Rappers can't touch me. I'm protected. And that's what makes it all more dangerous. He keeps poking at lions from behind a locked gate, knowing full well that every reaction feeds his fame. To Charleston, it's always a win-win. If Boosie or T.I. clap back, boom, he gets clicks and headlines. If they stay silent, he brags that he already won because they didn't respond. That's the twisted game he's been playing all along, creating chaos that only benefits him. But here's the cold, unfiltered truth. Once you drag someone's kids into it, you're not chasing clout anymore. You're playing with honor. And honor is something men like Boosie and T.I. never gamble with. They come from a generation where words have weight and disrespect has consequences. That's why the internet is split in two. Half the crowd says Charleston is just a clout chaser, a professional instigator feeding off attention. But the other half believes he's walking a dangerous line, one that could flip the entire culture upside down. Some argue it's all part of the game, that Charleston's chaos keeps things entertaining. But others insist he's crossed a sacred boundary that no man, no matter how bold, should ever touch. The debates turned heated. People weren't just reacting to Charleston's reckless mouth. They were asking bigger questions. What does it really mean to be a father in this industry? What does it mean to defend your blood in a world built on viral moments? And most importantly, is Charleston's brand of trolling even safe anymore? Because let's keep it real. Charleston's whole playbook only works under one assumption, that everything stays online. But Boosie and T.I., they're cut from a different cloth. They come from environments where words don't just echo, they ignite. Where talk can flip to action in a heartbeat. That's why this feud feels heavier, darker, and way more dangerous than the usual social media drama. And then there are the sons, Tootie Raw and King Harris. They're not background extras in this story. They're standing in the crossfire, clapping back with their own fire. Especially King. He's young, bold, and fearless, meeting Charleston's energy head-on. He's not hiding behind his father's name. He's out there trading words, standing up for himself, and making it clear he won't be bullied for views. That kind of raw defiance lit up the internet. Half the audience was cheering King on, proud to see him stand tall, while the other half watched in suspense, wondering if this whole feud was about to cross the line from words to something much more real. Half the crowd respected King for standing tall, refusing to let anyone clown his name. The other half thought he was walking straight into Charleston's trap, feeding the beast exactly what he wanted: attention. But no matter what side you were on, one thing was undeniable. King's response launched him into the spotlight like never before. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about Boosie or T.I. anymore. It was about the next generation stepping up, learning to navigate chaos in real time, right in front of millions of eyes. That's what made this whole saga so addictive. It wasn't just another rap beef. It was a layered storm of pride, pain, legacy, and loyalty. It was hip-hop beef colliding with fatherhood, trolling turning into danger, old school principles clashing with new school energy, and hanging over all of it like a dark cloud. The ghost of Kanye's White Lives Matter moment. The spark that ignited this entire chain reaction. Every time Charleston laughed, every time he went live and threw another shot, the fire burned hotter. On the surface, he was grinning, cracking jokes, talking reckless like it was all fun and games. But underneath that chaos, the tension was thick. What started as simple trolling had mutated into something darker, something that cut deep into the roots of respect. Because let's be real, Boosie and T.I. are not the kind of men you play games with, especially when their kids are dragged into it. Both men built reputations off loyalty and authenticity, and if there's one thing they've shown time and time again, it's that family isn't a talking point, it's sacred ground. As the drama snowballed, the question wasn't if Charleston would keep talking. Everyone knew he would. The real question became, who's finally going to say enough is enough? The culture was glued to their screens. Every live stream, every clip, every word dissected like it was a championship fight. Charleston kept smirking through it all, tossing out insults like confetti, talking wild and doubling down every single time. He painted himself as untouchable, flexing that rappers can't touch me card like a shield. He bragged that anyone who tried him would just catch a case. And that fake sense of safety only inflated his ego, making him louder, wilder, more reckless with every rant. He'd go live after live, daring Boosie, daring T.I., even daring entire fan bases to come for him. Because he knew the second anyone reacted, he'd flip it, play the victim, and make himself the headline again. It was a twisted bait-and-switch game, and Charleston was winning it by turning outrage into currency. But for everyone else watching, it wasn't entertainment anymore. It felt dangerous. Like watching a powder keg get shaken again and again, waiting for the spark that finally sets it off. That's when fans started noticing a change in Boosie's energy. In the beginning, his silence felt like discipline, like a man refusing to feed the troll. He stayed calm, focused, refusing to give Charleston the satisfaction of a reaction. But when Charleston dragged Tootie Raw's name into the dirt one too many times, that silence broke. Boosie's energy shifted from calm to cold. The silence turned into a warning. And that warning carried weight. When he finally spoke, you could feel it in every word. A voice that didn't need to shout to shake the room. His tone hit like a hammer, heavy and final. This wasn't rap beef, wasn't some chase for clout. This was a father drawing his line in the sand. Don't talk about my kids. That was it. No theatrics, no extra talk, just raw truth. And that moment froze the entire internet. For a second, all the jokes, all the trolling, all the noise stopped. Because everyone watching understood exactly what that meant. No matter how wild things get online, there are still lines you don't cross. You can mock a man's music, his career, his success, even his fame. But the second you bring his child into it, you're playing a dangerous game. And when T.I. stood up for King Harris, he delivered that same message loud and clear. No sugarcoating, no hesitation, just raw fatherly fury wrapped in composure. He looked into the camera and reminded the world that no amount of fame, followers, or internet buzz would ever make him stand by and let someone disrespect his son. That's not internet talks, that's legacy talk. That's what separates real men from clout chasers. And as the tension climbed, the internet watched with bated breath. Because at this point, Charleston wasn't just stirring up views. He was playing with something that money, fame, and clout can't protect him from. Real-world consequences. T.I. didn't soften his words one bit. He made it clear as day. He would never sit back while a grown man tried to humiliate his child. For Tip, this wasn't about King's rap image or fame. It was about fatherhood. Period. That single move earned him major respect across the culture because it showed everyone something bigger than hip-hop. When it comes to family, these men are fathers first, entertainers second. And when a father puts that armor on, it doesn't matter who you are. Lines get drawn, and consequences always follow. That's exactly why Charleston's antics stopped being viewed as funny trolling, and started being seen for what they really were. Attacks on pride, on manhood, on fatherhood itself. 3 things you simply don't play with in this world. Meanwhile, the sons became the beating heart of the saga. King Harris didn't hide behind his dad's name. He stepped straight into the fire. He went live, called Charleston out directly, and dared him to keep talking. That Instagram Live turned into a full-blown moment, replayed thousands of times, debated like a championship fight. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was family standing tall against chaos. The energy shifted instantly. You could feel it. Some fans thought King was reckless, saying he gave Charleston exactly what he wanted: attention. But others praised him for standing his ground, refusing to let a grown man drag his name without clapping back. And even though Tootie Raw stayed quieter, his presence was the spark that made Boosie finally snap and break his silence. That's the thing, these sons weren't just bystanders. They were living proof of just how deep Charleston's disrespect really cut. Every word, every insult wasn't just trolling. It was a shot at bloodlines, at family legacies. Here's the cold truth: Charleston thrives off attention. It's his fuel. But even attention has limits. You can only cross sacred lines so many times before that energy flips. At first, people laughed at Charleston's outrageous rants. Then, slowly, those laughs turned into unease. Now, the entire internet is asking the same question. How long before this turns real? Because in the worlds Boosie and T.I. come from, disrespecting a man's family isn't comedy. It's a trigger. In their reality, words don't stay words forever. That's the dangerous truth lurking beneath all the memes, the live streams, and Charleston's fake laughter. He might act untouchable, hiding behind that "I'll call the cops" safety net. But Boosie and T.I. already made it known. This isn't a game to them. Fans can see it too. The writing's on the wall. This stopped being about Clout a long time ago. Now it's a ticking clock. Every new live stream Charleston posts, every time he mocks King or Tootie, every insult he throws at their fathers, it's all stacking up, brick by brick. The tension's building like a bomb that everyone knows will go off. They just don't know when. And now the culture's holding its breath. Will someone finally say enough and shut Charleston down? Or will fate make Boosie and Charleston cross paths in a way nobody can take back? Will T.I. step in again if it goes too far? Or will King Harris, fiery and bold, turn his Instagram threats into something real? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing's certain. Everyone's tuned in, waiting for the next move. What makes it even wilder is how it all started. From something so small, a shirt Kanye West wore, that infamous White Lives Matter tee, kicked off a chain reaction that spiraled into chaos. Kanye's fashion stunt sparked outrage. Boosie blasted him for disrespecting the community. Charleston mocked Boosie for daring to speak up, and then dragged Boosie's son into the fire. From there, the drama snowballed completely out of control. And just when it couldn't get any messier, Charleston went after T.I.'s family too. What should have been a quick internet argument turned into a full-blown cultural moment. One that exposed deep truths about pride, ego, and the unspoken code of respect in hip-hop. Every move added another layer. More disrespect, more pride, more danger. That's why this story refuses to fade away. Too many lines have been crossed. Too much ego is on the table. Too much real-world pride is involved for anyone to walk away quietly now. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Charleston White trolling rappers. It's about what happens when internet games crash headfirst into street principles. When digital disrespect meets the real-world code of honor. It's a harsh reminder that no matter how big social media gets, some truths never change. Family comes first. Honor still matters. And there are lines you never cross without paying a price. Boosie made that crystal clear. T.I. made that crystal clear. And now the entire world is watching to see if Charleston White finally learns that lesson. The hard way. So what do you think? Was Boosie right to step up and send that chilling warning? Did Charleston finally cross a line that should have never been touched? And was King Harris smart to clap back with fire? Or did he just hand Charleston more fuel to keep the flames blazing? The internet's divided. Half say Charleston deserves whatever's coming. The other half think the rappers are walking into his trap. Either way, the debate is raging non-stop. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this saga is far from over. The energy is too raw, the disrespect too personal, and the pride too heavy for this to fade quietly. One thing's for sure, this isn't just entertainment anymore. It's a living storm, and it could flip at any moment. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, share this with your people, and smash the like. Because with the way this beef is spiraling, trust me, there's way more drama on the horizon. And we'll be right here to break every twist down for you. Step by step, moment by moment until the dust finally settles. If it ever does.